You know, making videos nowadays is pretty easy. All you have to do is reach into your pocket and pull out your phone. Making someone entertaining videos is pretty easy nowadays. You just need a little charisma and a good topic. But making well-researched, well-written, and well-edited videos is harder than ever. And even for creators that focus more on the idea of broadcasting yourself, YouTube's original slogan, it has become quite difficult. Of course, there's way more competition than before, but also there's competition from AI slop channels and people just putting out mass amounts of material hoping to get one to go viral. Copycat material, and the likes. The truth is, AI generated content is filling up the platform, and it is a serious problem. I talked a little bit about it on my last video, and even before that, there was these content farms just copycatting everything. And Mutahar just made a video about how Mr. Beast has this AI software that will flip-flop your face onto somebody else's thumbnails. He deleted it because of backlash, but part of me thinks that he probably knew there was going to be backlash. Maybe he's just so out of it and he has so many yes men around him, he didn't know any better. But to me, Mr. Beast and people like Mr. Beast and many of these AI slop channels to a lesser degree, just because they have less money, but it's the same principle of just trying to get more any means necessary. They're basically now the YouTube equivalent of a tech CEO or a tech empire like Google themselves or any other tech brand that just has an unquenchable thirst for more and will do whatever it takes to get that. There's also the old point that YouTube prioritizes consistency, and there is this fine medium every creator, every video maker has to play with that really is unique to each channel and type of video that you're making. Of, are you going to produce a lot quickly, or are you going to try to make it as good as you possibly can? And there's never a time in any artistic or any type of endeavor, we're imperfect beings, so it's impossible for us to create perfect anything. You can just get a project and keep going and going forever. There's a creator named James Janney who I really look up to, who is definitely the exception of the rule, who has the ability to go all in to the point where it's like Netflix quality but YouTube style, and I guess it's working out for him.
The bottom line of that was that I was starting to burn out from making videos on the main channel.
And then there's the financial burden of it all. If you want to make good content and you want to make it consistently, well, you're going to have to get paid. And I mean, that's the dream. And I think even I'll take it from me, like I don't make any money making these videos, but it is something I aspire to do. And even the little bits of money that I've made from Fiverr or working for other people, doing something other than my other work that I do in my life, which is landscaping and construction, it's a goal that is out there that motivates me. But the thing is people are so squeezed like a turnip from the so-called elite class that not very many people have disposable income to support Patreon or buy me a coffee. Plus, there's the fact that us as viewers have been burnt so many times throughout the years with NFTs and crypto scams and just weird everything, right? So-called courses that promise the world and deliver nothing. It's made the smartest of us very skeptical, and rightfully so. That being said, I know there's some really good courses out there, and not everybody is a scammer. Which leads me to one of my favorite YouTubers and sort of what inspired me making this video. That is a British man named Tom Nicholas, who, if you don't know, is somebody that makes some of the most incredible, I would say, YouTube videos, but really videos overall. Like, he just makes some of the best videos I've ever seen. Not every video he's ever made, like any other video creator, is a complete banger, but some of the ones that are so dang good. It's just inspiring. Today I watched his most recent video, which is him sitting down at a camera and talking about basically his financial situation and trying to get people to subscribe to either Nebula, in which he is affiliated, or to subscribe to his Patreon. And he is not the type to beg for money. He even talks about it in the video, and I suggest you go watch that video. And as I was watching that video, I was looking at his subscriber number, which I had never really noticed, and it hadn't cracked a million. And for people that don't know his channel, I would describe it as something like Johnny Harris almost. He covers somewhat similar topics, except he's way more down to earth. He's more on the ground. He's sort of a new age documentary style. except he's not going to be pushing online therapy or any weird VPNs.
The fact that the online media economy in which I make these videos is fundamentally broken.
The dude has integrity. So as a longtime viewer, I gotta say, I don't think he'd be just begging money for no reason. You got people in general spending less money, which means less AdSense, in which YouTube takes 45%, which I know nothing about. Which also means that sponsors aren't going to want to pay as much. People don't want to subscribe to your Patreon, one, because they don't have that much money, and two, because there's been so many people in the past that have burned their communities. Not only do they not want to support your Patreon, they don't want to buy your product. And I'm a viewer, I just don't have the money for it right now. I can barely afford to keep my computers working. On top of that, you got the AI slop, the content farms, which are becoming AI slop, and just a whole bunch of craziness coming from the platform itself, on top of increasingly worse censorship, in my opinion. In my last video, I mentioned Penguin Zero, who isn't a creator I watch very much, but he is a very big one, and he always kind of speaks the mind of the YouTube community in a way. I always see him as that. If he's saying something, that means that there's a real problem. And he put out that video about the Pug AI crap or whatever that I mentioned in the last video. But you also have Mudahar and other creators pointing this stuff out with Mr. Beast and all sorts of different scammy type things. The people up top, including on YouTube, are trying to extract as much money as they can. And maybe Beast knew there was backlash, but honestly, I think a lot of these guys really are they're out of touch with the regular person. And I'm not hating. If I was up there as well, I'd be enjoying myself, but I would hope that I would remember what it was like to work a regular job, have to worry about making ends meet, because unless you have venture capitalists that are breathing down your neck, there shouldn't be any reason for you to constantly try to get more out of your audience. So here's the thing I want to remind people. I can't get my mom to unsubscribe from Amazon, and that's fine. My dad has cancer. They're going through a lot, but I'm not buying from Amazon, and I'm not going to support AI created content unless they're actually doing artwork, because AI is a tool. I mean, I use AI to take out the background or whatever sometimes. That's different. That's, I guess, a topic for a different video. But you know it when you see it. You know the slop content. Sometimes it's a little hard to spot, and it's getting harder and harder. But if you can tell something's off, if the profile is a cartoon Cartman and every video sounds exactly the same, I feel like there's always exceptions to the rules, and you can make art with AI in a real authentic way. I keep using the word authentic. I don't even know what it means anymore. These people that are just in it for the money. Now, I have nothing against them personally. I get needing to need money. I do have something against corporate structures that are trying to take advantage of people, and some of these content farms definitely are that or fit that category, even if they are on smaller time. But I don't hold it against anybody trying to make their come-ups, because life is hard, and if you found a route to success and you're okay with that as a person, I'm not okay with that as a person. Obviously, I wouldn't be making this video, but if they are, and whatever, I don't feel any ill will to them as a person, but I'm not going to support their content. I'm not going to support Amazon, because that is where our power is as consumers. As for me as a creator or artist or designer or video editor, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to keep going, because let's face it, if you truly love what you do, you would do it regardless of money. And I've very rarely gotten paid for what I do on this channel or anything else to do with that. I'm trying to change that, but that's the truth of it right now. I've spent way, way, way more money, so much more money than I've made. But I'm gonna keep going. But I want to share with you I'll put the name of their channel. It's just somebody that probably shoots with their phone, doesn't have good lighting. He's one of those channels, but I saw one of his design videos, and he was talking about it in regards to graphic design, but I thought it was some of the best advice I'd heard in a long time. That if you are, in his case, a designer, but a creative person, a video editor, or whatever, don't constrain yourself to one medium. So don't, I think of myself as a video editor, a writer, somebody that makes YouTube, but it doesn't need to be that way, because being a creative is translatable to a lot of different mediums. I used to try to write raps. I used to really enjoy rapping, which maybe a couple years ago I might have felt embarrassed about it, but it was a fun thing to do at the time. I'm a snowboarder, and snowboarding is an athletic, creative outlet as well. I think somebody that's good at making music can more easily than the average person translate to making videos, and vice versa, because it is the same. It's the same thing in your brain. It's the same muscle in your brain. I mean, that's sort of what got me into this whole world in the first place, is the idea that we want to continue to learn. You're either like getting better or you're getting worse. Stagnating is not really an option. That's when people get old. And some people stay young until the day they die, if you get what I'm trying to say. Continually grow, regardless if it's gonna make money or not, but you can push in that direction. James Janney and Penguin Zero Mutahar, all very different creators. And Mutahar probably talks into his webcam, but he's making a statement and he's pumping out content a lot, but it's valuable. The designer I just told you, the basis of one of the things he said in one of his videos, he just shoots a phone at him and he makes his money being a designer. A totally different medium, but he's presenting value. James Janney's making an entire documentary, and so is Tom Nicholas. But they're creating value and they're doing it out of love in a way, and they're sharing their experience. They're making a statement in the world. Sure, people need to make money, and I think going forward into culture, it would be really cool if we made it okay for creatives and good people that are putting positivity out into the world, to make money. Because the truth is, because I think of what we talked about before, because so many people have gotten burned so many times and how suspicious we all are, we see somebody that's doing good things that, tries to put out a product or a course or sells one of their plugins for their software. We look at that as suspicious and think, oh, you're charging, 20, 50 bucks or whatever for a plugin, for instance. And then we don't buy it because we're like, screw that guy. But then we go spend our money on Amazon, or we spend our money at Walmart or whatever. It's like nobody bats an eye when the guy that you expect to be a dick is a dick. But when the guy that doesn't have that much, relatively, tries to put out a product to better himself, he's trying to put positivity into the world, but he needs to make money, that it's the world we live in, for better or worse, then people are like super suspicious and don't want to support it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. My brain is telling me not to tell you to support my work at Buy Me a Coffee in the description, but I don't know. Check out some of my other videos. I've definitely done some try hard ones, and I think I'm going to be doing more like this depending on how I feel about the next couple, because YouTube does like repetition, and I do have a lot to say, but I also have a lot to research and design and stuff, or edit, and yeah, I don't know. Like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll either see you in the next video or see you in the next live, but hopefully in the next video.